Good morning, everybody. Here we are back at it again. Looking at this next section of Unit 5, we're going to be looking at the magic of compound interest because it actually is a very helpful thing when you're trying to save some money. But the magic of compound interest, so simple interest, as we've been talking about, is interest paid only on the amount that you deposited, where compound is interest that is paid on the initial deposit and any interest you put in. So the compound is, let's say you put $100 into a bank account and you get $20 in interest on that. So now you have 120. Well, with compound interest, you're going to get it's going to add on to that 120 and not just that initial 100. So that means each time interest is paid, it's added on. And to benefit from compound interest, you need to save money early and leave it alone. Pretend like it doesn't exist to allow that interest to do its magic by making each new payment of interest greater than the last. So you're going to investigate how you can just deposits can grow by trying some of the following financial calculators. So if you click the link, it's going to take you to this really cool thing from Ontario Securities Commissions. And you can try all these different fee calculators, compound interest calculators, and so forth. And that will help you understand compound interest more, especially if you go to this one. So I highly recommend. So let's say for here, once again, our initial investment was 100, regular additional was 20. We'll do an interest rate of 1.5. Let's see what that looks like. Compounds monthly over 30 years. Let's calculate. So we started with your initial investment of $100 plus your weekly investment of $20 at an annual rate of 1.5% interest will be worth almost $40,000 after 30 years. Wow. And all you did was you started with $100. Okay. That is how compound interest works. Going back to the slides. There we are. This article here, once again, has helped to really push your understanding. That does say in today's announcement, if you read it, you do notes on the articles listed on the slide. You upload to your student portfolio. It's easy bonus marks. We'll come back to this in 1 second. So investing is important, and it's really hard to do when you're first starting out, but something maybe to play around with once you have your feet underneath yourself a little bit better. So in this says investing is good when you want to save money that works for you and to increase your overall wealth. Savings needs to be invested to earn your money from interest. There are many investment opportunities available, and all of them pay using compound interest. So some investments are very safe and involve very little risk, such as GICs, but these also earn very little interest in return for you. But it's a great way to start experimenting with investments. Others are high risk, maybe not the best to do when you're first starting out. And you can make a lot of money from them, but you take a lot of chance of losing it all because of how high risk it is. This video here is related to Canada. I was so excited when I found it because a lot of financial videos are related to the US. So please, 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 please watch the video because she goes into some great examples of how to build wealth in Canada today. And that's where we're going to stop. So looking at the assignment you're working on, it looks like it's out of a lot, but bear with me. It's just because you need to show your work. So remember the calculations. So these are here to help you. So initial investments times 1 plus interest percentage. So for example, you have 2,000 times 1 plus 10%. We got to turn that 10% into a decimal. So we go from 2,000 plus 1.1% interest, you get 2,200 on your simple interest. Breaking it down into compound interest, we have it to the power of n, which means that's the number of compound periods. So how many times will that amount compound over a block of time? So we break down same starting amount. Look, we add up more. You will need to put exponents in to your work. So I did list here how to put exponents in Google Docs with the subscript option. So follow these steps in order to put these little exponents in. You're going to answer the 3 questions below, and I gave you an example here of 2 examples actually of what your work should look like by the end. So if you want to get full marks for each question, this is the outline you should follow. So if we look at question number 1, if you put $100 into an investment that paid 10% simple interest each year, so yearly, how much interest would you have earned in 3 years? And what would you savings be worth at the end? So investment, remember, nothing gets added on. So we invested $100. It's $100 for year 1, year 2, and year 3. So we go 10% breaks down to 0.10 once we switch it to that decimal. We plug in the formula from up above here. So 100 times bracket 1 plus 10%. We switch that over, 110, 120, 130. So therefore, at the end of 3 years, you would have earned $30 in interest, therefore making your savings worth 130. This right here will get you full marks. We look at question number 2. You put $100 into an investment that pays 10% compound interest each year. How much interest would you earn in 3 years, and what would your savings be worth at the end? So investment, we started year 1 with $100. We have our 10%. We have to put in that exponent to the power of 3 because we're working over 3 years. So 100 times 1 plus 100 times bracket 1 plus 10%. We switch that 10% into a decimal, which makes it 100 times 1.1 to the power of 3. 100 times 1.33 gets us $133. Because it's compounding interest, we need to carry this number over into year 2. Plug in the numbers again. 176.89 rolls over to year 3. And the only number that really changes in our formula is that running initial investment. So we go from 100 to 133. We look at year 2, 133 gets plugged in this time because that is how much we're working with. Year 3, we go up to 176.89. We plug that in. So at the end of 3 years, we would have earned $135.26 of interest, therefore making our savings worth $235.26. Once again, full marks right here. You are going to follow those formulas for question 1, question 2, and question 3. If you need help at all, because I get it, sometimes math is really tricky, please, 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 please reach out. I'm here to help in any way possible. Good luck.